everybody, I'm Kala Ellis. I'm with O-Ku in Germantown, and I'm here to make you guys some delicious cocktails with Maker's Mark. We're going to be doing Maker's Cask Strength and Maker's 46. Okay, so let's get into this. The first one here is called Winter's Revenge. It's basically inspired by a hot toddy. As it gets cold, I want you to have something that's going to cure whatever ails you, and so I really think this is the cure for any kind of sore throat, anything coming up. So we're gonna start off with some hot water here, and you can do this on your stove. Any kind of heating receptacle will work. I'm taking the Maker's Cask Strength because it's kicking, it's got a big, bold bite to it. So it's got a heavy caramel and vanilla note, but I also get a ton of cinnamon, and I think it goes great in this kind of hot toddy format. So I'm doing full 2 ounces of that. And then I'm going for some Ancho Reyes, which is actually a poblano pepper liqueur, but they dehydrate the poblanos, and so that's what makes it Ancho. So this is gonna give it some nice spice and a kind of a deeper, richer undertone. I'm doing about 3/4 of an ounce there. And then we make this ginger syrup in-house with both honey and agave. Don't worry about writing all these recipes down. I'm gonna have them all typed up for you and included in your kit, so that way you can make this anytime you want, any time of year. I'm gonna do a full ounce of the ginger. So this ginger syrup is really, to me, the kind of magic behind the drink. It'll kind of make your throat burn a little bit, but in a good way, not in like when it's sore, not when you're like having a little cold. And then I'm doing about 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. It's worth it to get the fresh juice. It does make a big difference in your cocktail. Don't use the little squeezy packets, those are terrible. And then I'm doing 2 dashes of Angostura. Angostura bitters are an orange aromatic spice. It's got a lot of different layers to it, and they incorporate and fuse all of those flavors together to create something that will round out any drink. So you can add that to your Manhattans, your old fashions. You can put it over your ice cream. It's great in everything you add it on. So I've actually got the teacup here heating up. If you heat up your teacup, heat up your teapot before you use it, it's going to allow the drink to stay hotter longer. It'll retain that heat. So it should be hot, nice and hot to the touch. Okay, so while this is sitting in like the heating receptacle, whether it's your stove or what have you, you're going to kind of stir it down. You can kind of taste it. You can set your finger in it just to make sure it's at the temperature you like. But when it's ready, you're gonna take it off the heat. You're gonna pour it up. And it's about 3/4 of the way full in my cup here. And I'm gonna just top it with some of this nice hot water. And you can make this as strong as you want it, or you can make it a little softer. You use as much hot water as you think necessary. I really want this to be kicking. I like it to really have a big, bold flavor. So I like just a little bit of water, probably about 1 ounce. And so then I'm gonna get a nice lemon zest here. With your lemon zest, you want about a Band-Aid's width. All of the aromas and the aromatic compounds are in the oil of the skin. They're not in this peel side. So you're gonna face the skin color of this lemon peel towards the drink. And you can actually see the oil come out there. Let's get in a fresh one here for you. I'll get you one more so you can really see how that oil comes out. It makes such a big difference. So check out how that oil here. All of that oil is gonna sit over the top of the drink. It's gonna make a really big difference. It's gonna hit all of your senses, so that way you're completely engaged in this cocktail. So cheers. So here's our second cocktail for you. It is called Maker's Heart, and it's featuring Maker's 46. As far as the flavor profile, it's gonna be a little closer to like a Manhattan or an old fashioned, or if you're familiar with Liqueur, it's kind of in that family of cocktails, of taste. Okay, so let's get into this cocktail. We're gonna start off with 1.5 ounces of our Maker's 46. And all the flavors I wanted to use in here, I wanted to kind of intensify and amplify the undertones of this particular spirit. They use French staves, so that typically gives you more of like a kitchen spice kind of undertone. So you'll get clove and cinnamon, a lot of caramel and vanilla with this one. So good. So we're doing about 1.5 ounces of that. then I'm actually doing 3/4 of an ounce of Lemon Hart rum. So this is a Demerara based rum. Demerara is just a raw, unprocessed sugar. It comes from South America, and it gives us this kind of rich, a little more viscosity, and just kind of this fatty taste that actually balances out the cocktail in a really nice way. It's great to play with in cocktails because anytime I'm looking for a little bit of weight in my cocktail, I can look to the Demerara based rums, and it really does amplify and kind of give me that weight that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna also use a 1/2 ounce of the Harlequin orange liqueur. This is a cognac based orange liqueur. I'm using a skinny 1/2 ounce. So that means you're gonna go a little under the line. And it's just gonna give me a little bit more weight, a little more of that kind of round undertone to it. This is just Demerara syrup. Again, I'm gonna include all of the recipes on here. My Demerara is just 2-to-1, so it keeps it a little thicker, a little more viscous. And then I also made similar to like a saline solution. Instead of water, I use Peychaud bitters as the base. A lot of times you see people add salt to their cocktails. It's a great idea. You love a nice dish that's well-rounded, and it's well-rounded because of the spices that you added, the salt, the pepper, and any of the other flavors that you're gonna be adding into your dish. This is gonna be the same as that. This is how you round out your whole cocktail. So I added the black lava salt to my Peychauds, and it turns this gorgeous kind of dark fuchsia color. And then I'm gonna add 2 strong dashes there. Okay, so we've got all of our ingredients in here. We're gonna add our ice. Now, when you're playing with cocktails at home, I would love it if you could find ice that it has less edges, because the more surface area you have, the more melty the ice becomes. So it will actually increase the kind of dilution rate. And so the bigger cubes you can find, the better, because it's gonna get your cocktail a lot colder without making it too watery. So I'm gonna pay attention to how long I stir this, but I want you to kind of see how the water level rises. It's important to stir down this cocktail because what you're looking for is all the covalent bonds of this Maker's Mark spirit. You want it to break down and recombine with these other ingredients that we've put together here. And so I'm not disrupting it in a way that's going to pump air bubbles into it as if it were a shaken cocktail. That's gonna make it more effervescent. We don't want this cocktail to be effervescent. We want this cocktail to be velvety and kind of silky. So I'm gonna just stir it and watch this water level rise. If I were to shake it up that way, it's going to see, you can already see there's air bubbles popping up into the top of the cocktail, and that's a sign that this cocktail is overworked. It might get a little too watery, and it's going to change the mouth weight entirely. So you really want this kind of silky, velvety spin on it. Okay, and then while this is sitting here, I'm gonna prep my zest. A big, beautiful Band-Aid size, about 4 fingers width of orange zest. And we're gonna pour this off. You can chill your glass if you like. It'll make your cocktail colder longer. I like the Nick and Nora glass because it actually will hit more center part of your tongue. And so your tongue, even though all of your taste buds are the same, they've found, it does kind of receive sweetness and bitterness at different levels and different spots in your mouth. So I really like Nick and Nora's and Coupes because they are a manly glass. You guys, they're a manly glass. Don't be afraid of a stemmed glass. I'm telling you, it's great. And I'm gonna take my zest here. All the colorful side on the outside is going to be where all the oils are. And don't forget about your sidecar here. You can leave this in there. Cheers.